Hey, so we're going to pick up the story here in Genesis 38. We're going to pause the story of Joseph and we're going to take a chapter to talk about Judah, one of his brothers. And Judah leaves the family. He goes down to this place called Adullam, and he goes and hangs out there, picks up a wife, has three boys. And as is the custom, when his sons are old enough, he arranges for a marriage. So he finds this woman Tamar, who Tamar marries the oldest boy. He dies, and as is the custom, she is supposed to then be married to the next boy in line, and he'll have kids with her. And then the older son's line will be carried on through that. He also dies, and so Judah makes this decision where he tells her, Tamar, okay, I need you to just come live in my house. When my older son gets married, then we'll go ahead and marry you to him. And so years pass by. Judah's wife dies, and we pick up the story where Judah is going to go down to get his sheep sheared, and while he's down there, Tamar sneaks down there, disguises herself as a prostitute, and then has sex with him, and she gets proof of it because she gets to keep his seal and his cord and his staff and everything. So then she goes back to the house, and a few months later, Judah finds out, hey, Tamar is pregnant, this woman who was supposed to be waiting for your son, and so his response is bring her out and have her burned to death. And as she was being brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law. I'm pregnant by the man who owns these, she said. And she added, see if you recognize whose seal and cord and staff these are. And Judah recognized them at once and said, she is more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Shelah, and he did not sleep with her again. So the point of what we get out of this story is not so much a commentary on what their culture was and what they did, but I think that Judah here illustrates the very definition of what being a hypocrite is. He is holding her to this standard where it's like, no, you have to wait. You can't, you got to pause everything in your life. And I can't believe that you would get pregnant out of wedlock. And yet he's the one who's sleeping with a shrine prostitute. And so it just illustrates the hypocrisy that is so corrosive and so messed up and so hurts those of us who call ourselves Christians, and yet we live a hypocritical life. It made me think of the passage here in Matthew 23. Jesus gives us the what are called the woes, the seven woes. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the kingdom of heaven in men's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those who enter, or those enter who are trying to. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much of a son of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides! You say, if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing. But anyone swears by the gold of the temple, he is bound by his oath. You blind fools! Which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. But if anyone swears by the gift on it, he is bound by his oath. You blind men! Which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? And then he goes down to, woe to you in 25. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside will also be clean. And so hypocrisy is when I talk to people and I reach out to them and I try to encourage them to seek God, I cannot tell you how many times I hear, well, I would go to church, but I've had so many of these experiences with these hypocrites. They say one thing, but they do another. And Jesus later calls the Pharisees and the hypocrites like a whitewashed tomb. They are dead on the inside, but pretty on the outside. And Jesus was very patient with most people, with sinners and with people who are messing up. He would tell them, go leave your life of sin and then come follow me. But the people that he would just nail were the hypocrites. Woe to you, hypocrites. You claim that you're good. You claim that you're righteous, but inside you are dead. And I think it's very easy for all of us to be hypocrites in some way. And so we need to humble out. We need to recognize where we are being hypocrites and repent. And then go and share with others. When we go to try to help others, we're not going to them in a judgmental way saying, you need to stop this or God's going to get you. We need to go and share and say, God has saved me from this. Please let me share with you so that I can hopefully help you too. So don't be a hypocrite.